Yo, what's the dilly? What's the dilly? What's the dilly, man? It's the failed athlete. That don't mean you got a fail in life. I appreciate everybody tapping in with the kid. If we got 0 in here, if we got 5 people, if we got 1,500, if we got 50,000, I'm gonna go to. My apologies. My apologies. Just waiting for it to. Good old Shay Shay. Yeah, we got somebody in the building. Yeah. It's the failed athlete. That don't mean you got a fail in life, baby. Just waiting a little bit. Just waiting to see what we got. Appreciate you tapping in. Whether we got 1, whether we got 1,000, we gonna go hard, man. Can't stop till that casket drop. But first and foremost, stumbling all over my words. First and foremost, we got to talk this Shador, man. Before we even get into this Shannon stuff, before I even touch on good old Sharpe, forget about Shannon being shakedown. Is this a Shador Sanders shakedown? Fumbling my words. Gotta get right. We on a late night. Gotta get right. We on a late night. Now this situation with Shador, it was said that he may have dropped in the second round, right? Excuse me. It was said that he might drop in the second round. We see what happened. But my question to the public, my question to the people is Shador really a second rounder? I mean, let's be realistic. This dude is put on for 4 years now. You've seen him climb up from Jackson State to Colorado. What more did he have to prove? You got Jackson Dart being taken in front of him. Is Jackson Dart a better quarterback than Shador Sanders? Did Prime oversell his son? Did Coach Prime oversell his son? That's the question that needs to be asked. Did people really, I don't want to say people, let's say the NFL scouts, because obviously they saw something that we weren't able to see. Why is this turning yellow? My bad, all type of distractions. Give me a minute though. We're gonna find the flow. But real shit. Let's be 100, man. I don't know. I'm thinking this was a setup. I'm thinking this was a setup the entire time, man. They had reports coming out about Shador saying that he was cocky, saying that he was big-headed, thought too much of himself, anything to bring him back down to reality, man. But he comes from a long line of stunting. He comes from a lineage of stunting. How do you really hold that against him? You can't go in there confident. You got to answer the questions the way they want you to answer them questions, right? You got to fake it pretty much. Shador feels like he's past the faking it era. I'm good. So was this a plot to pretty much embarrass this dude? Like I said in the other video, I knew that Shador Sanders wasn't going to be in that top 10 once they kept on zooming to his room. They kept zooming into his room. Zooming into the room, not showing anything, right? Which is good for TV. The people wondering, where's Shador? Where's Prime? Why aren't they there? Somebody let them know. Somebody tipped them off. Hey, man, you might not go this round. You might slip and fall to the second round. What does this mean for his money? You know, them first rounders are pretty much like lottery picks. What does this mean for the money? I wanted to talk Shedeur Sanders, man, first and foremost. I wanted to talk Prime. Prime just retired Travis Hunter's jersey. And speaking of Travis Hunter, he retired Shedeur's, of course, right? He gonna retire his sons as well. But speaking of Travis Hunter, man, kudos to Trav because somewhere along the line, he started listening to his media team. His media team told him, you will not give them people reason to run a checkup off your name. Liana Lene, she kept her distance. She made sure this was Travis's moment. She didn't do nothing that could sully the moment. The mom was right there next to Trav. They had them perfectly placed so nobody would be able to go back and say nothing. Kudos to Trav, man. Kudos to Travis Hunter. He paying attention. He listening. He got a good team around him, obviously. At least a solid enough team to forewarn this dude, hey, man, you can't give those people a reason to do the same things. You can't allow these people to run your name through the mud. Trav, you going number 2. So that placement was perfect. The mom right next to him. Liana kind of out of the frame. And this moment was about Travis Hunter getting drafted. Liana Lene didn't overtake the draft. Kudos to Travis Hunter. Now back to Shedeur, the real story of the draft. Not going in the top 10, let alone not even getting chosen in the first round. Now I understand. I get it. You going to pick who fits your team. You're going to pick what it is that you need. But some of them picks, like I seen a couple of people take the tight end, like the tight end from Michigan went off the board first. I'm like, bro, he's not even the best tight end in the draft. I get it. I get it. You go to what suits your team. You go to the team needs. But realistically, bro, yeah. You mean to tell me you can't use a Shedeur Sanders? And I know his flaws. I know he's holding the ball. I know he holds the rock. I know he's out there holding the rock. But at the same time, that dude is venomous in that pocket. Could pick you apart in that pocket. A real life pro style QB. What they don't, you need a Lamar Jackson? I guess he gonna have to Lamar Jackson. Maybe they're setting up the Tom Brady archetype when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Maybe they're setting up the play to where it's like, hey man, you get to rub it in everybody's face and you get to say, hey, I was the last pick of the first round. And you can't even say that. He's going to be able to say, I was second round. And these people passed up on me. The audacity to pass up on Prime Son. I guess it happens like that sometimes. But yeah, man, it's tricky. It's tricky. You know, it reeks of collusion. It reeks of, you know, he thinks he's too big for his britches. We're going to embarrass this dude. We're going to embarrass this dude. No, you're not going first round. Maybe somewhere mid-second, we're going to make an example out of you. It's seeming like they make an example out of Prime's son. You know, Prime went in there with all the chips. I got my son. I got Travis. They're going to make you feel it somehow, some way. They're going to lower your ass somehow, some way. They're going to bring you back down to your level somehow, some way. But y'all know we got to get into good old Sharpe. That's why we here. Good old Sharpe. That's why we here. Still pretty hot. Still pretty hot off the presses. You know, I want to start with what Stephen A had to say. Because I believe Stephen A got word from his higher ups to go ahead and put it out there, let it be known. Hey, you only got but so long before ESPN makes something happen. Now, I think Me personally, we all know, right? Shay Sharpe has stepped away from ESPN. He said, I'm through. I got to get my name clear before I can affiliate with ESPN. Realistically, like Cam is going to say in a video clip that I'm going to play, this is Disney at the end of the day, bro. This Mickey Mouse and them, you can't be having these type of allegations lingering around your name and expect for an organization like Disney, one of the biggest in the world, a family-oriented business, to keep your ass around. They're going to disassociate. Now, they can't completely wipe their hands dry with you, Shannon, because I'm sure he's under some type of contract, but those contracts have clause. And you can get out of there, depending on what those clauses are. And this is probably one of those. So he probably got a call somewhere from ESPN, somebody from ESPN, and they let him know, you go ahead and disassociate yourself so it doesn't look like we're being the bad guys in this situation, even though your ass was gone regardless. And Shannon, man, he been on his high horse. Maybe somebody felt like he needed to be humbled. We're going to get into that a little bit later. For the people that's tapped in, I appreciate y'all, man. It's the failed athlete. That don't mean you got to fail in life. I don't give a damn if it's 4 people. I don't give a damn if it's 40. I don't give a damn if it's 400 to the 4 bands. I'm going hard for the people. Let's get it. I'm serving the people. I'm here to serve the people.
You serve me on a regular.
So let's hear what Stephen A. got to say.
So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon.
Hey, Stephen. Y'all see Stephen A. Smith taking all the credit. Listen, I'm the executive producer. Just so you know, I'm the reason Shannon Sharpe is even on ESPN. He wouldn't be now, not or without me. I'm the one who made this whole thing happen. Stephen A. Y'all got to read between the lines. Stephen A. gonna throw his little jabs up in there, right?
Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN.
Man, hey.
But I'm not the boss.
He's not. We all know Stephen A. He done been in hot water himself. He done had to apologize and bend the knee multiple times, multiple different occasions. We all remember what happened with Michelle Beadle when this man had to backtrack. Hey, she put him in his place real quick. Put Stephen A. in his place extremely fast. So we know Stephen A. is a company guy. He gonna keep her corporate to that casket drop. Let's get it.
Those are other folks.
The bosses. You let you know, hey, I brought Shannon. I brought him to the forefront. I'm the one who brought him in. And I'm letting y'all know you wouldn't have no Shannon had it not be for me. But somebody else had to okay Shannon. I didn't really. It's people above me. Let's get it.
There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke as co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously.
And that's what I mean. Like, we really got to read between the lines, because Shannon came out with that statement saying he's going to step away. I believe we know what truly happened. I believe we know what was really said behind the scenes. Hey, Shannon, we need you to go ahead and put out a statement letting the people know that you take responsibility for this. And we'll go ahead and back you. Not necessarily defend you, but yeah, we agree with you. We agree with you taking that break. Take that break, get right, and if things clear up, you could get your slot back. If, aka, your good is gone, little nigga. Your good is gone.
And we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather,
like I said, man, Shannon been on his high horse. He been popping a lot of hot shit. He's been popping a lot of hot shit, man. That success, breeds big heads. That success breeds big heads. As soon as you start feeling yourself a little bit too much, they're going to bring your ass back down to earth, man. Shannon has been throwing his weight around at them ESPN offices. You better believe it. And he just got hit with another allegation. Unc just got hit with another allegation. Let that sink in. Somebody from Fox is now claiming that he was choking them out on the set. Now, Shannon and his team is claiming this is all horseplay. Come on, y'all. You know I'm not choking nobody out on the set where people could really see this. But it's a trickle-down effect. It's always going to be a trickle-down effect when one accuser go ahead and sets that tone. When she set that tone, just like that Diddy case, just like that Cosby case, as soon as they crack that door open, all the roaches come scattering in. You know what it is.
Yeah. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke as co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously. And we are looking into this very, very closely.
Shannon met this woman when she was 20 years old. She's currently 22. Met her out in California. They were currently living in Nevada. Now, he had $100 million on the table. $100 million on the table. This is an OG. This is supposed to be a cat that you could look up to and follow that damn blueprint. This is supposed to be a dude that can give you game and you supposed to be expected to listen, right? Because he's clocking $100 million. He's somehow getting his hands on $100 million contracts. That's somebody you would want to follow. That's somebody you want to imitate. Until you find out he's doing the same damn thing as these YNs. How dare you talk about Anthony Edwards and his dating selection and him wanting to pay that child support up front? Shannon, how dare you out here tricking 25 bands a month? You supposed to be the OG. You supposed to have discipline. I'm tired of you old niggas. I'm tired of you Gen Xers. I'm tired of you boomers leading these youngsters astray, trying to act like you is something that you not. I would have respected Unc if he was just 100 with it. I would have respected Unc if he was telling the people this how you get down. But don't talk about Zion's eating habits. When you out here getting booty hole fondled with, don't do that. Don't do that, Unc.
And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there.
And the facts are in. Because obviously when Shannon admitted, hey, listen, I got a 30-second clip out. And when that lawyer put that 30-second clip out, y'all don't judge me because it's actually 10 minutes that's showing the whole thing. But like Cam says in his clip, what the hell was going on in that 30 seconds? I know Stephen A. and Shannon been having a little back and forths. Stephen A stays out the way as far as this type stuff. You know, he's been in a couple of little quote unquote relationship scandals, a la him snatching up Molly Karam from Jalen Rose. It gets grisly down there in that corporate atmosphere, man. It gets grisly. You know, Shannon wasn't a part of that original Fox lawsuit, but now you got people from the Fox station saying that he choked him. Saying that he put the figure 4 choke lock on him. The Ving Rhames, baby boy, slapped up Jody. You know how it go.
And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means. In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped.
Now, this is Tony Busby. This is a shakedown. Let's call this what it is. This is a shakedown. This is a California squeeze. This is a Cali squeeze. You know? But at the end of the day, you put yourself in that position while talking down on these youngsters. The hypocrisy is crucial, man. The hypocrisy is crucial. I'm going to let Stephen A finish up and we're going to get to another clip.
And Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere doing nightcap.
Hell no. Them days is over. Them days is over. Once she said, I'm not taking that 10 M's, that let me know you really trying to ruin this dude. You don't want to take 10 of them things to go away? Shannon, she trying to make your life a living hell. She trying to take everything you got, your credibility, your name, everything that you done worked for, out the window for a 20-year-old bust down. Out the window for an IG model. Out the window for something you could have been paying less than $1,000 for. I truly believe that. I believe you could have been getting that for the free. The association alone, she would have felt good about. I'm dealing with Shannon Sharpe. But this was coming regardless. Whether you got it for free, whether you was paying, you messed up thinking this was somebody you could trust by not knowing the landscape of the game. It's 2025, dog. You out here saying this stuff over the phone is crazy. Do better. Let's hear what Cam them got to say.
I took from this when I heard it was, look, he was living in California and moved to Nevada. She moved from California to Nevada too. So if somebody's being abusive to you in one state, why would you move to the next state with the same nigga who's abusing you? I don't know. Me personally, I found the red flag with that personally. And then the next thing.
You better not be victim blaming, Cam. Don't you do that. Don't you do that shit. Now, we know that, some people identify with their abusers. I got to call this down the middle, Cam. You better stop.
Thing is, this sex tape that's supposedly coming out, Shannon said, put the whole 30 minutes out, or 10 minutes, whatever it is. I guess there's some part in there for 30 seconds because Unc brought that up. Shannon brought that up. He said, I believe he's going to release 30 seconds of it. Whatever that 30 seconds is must be nasty and violent and up. If you don't want to put the whole 10 minutes and you're reducing it to that 30, it must have been WWE in that joint. Elbow off the top of the bed, off the thrower against the dresser.
It's bad. It had to be bad. It had to be crazy. And we already, you already see how Shannon is talking. His level of comfort. He's feeling good with the race play. We already know this is race play. Uncle Shay Shay getting off to the race play, man. And it's funny because he's from the South. This is a dude from the South. You know what I mean? Lusting after these young white women, man. Hey, this is to go out like this, though. To be getting sued for 50 mil over some. You in that bedroom bucking, thinking it's all gravy, right? Take me back to the antebellum days. Take me back. Hey, man, take me back to the Jim Crow days. Talk to me like it's Jim Crow. Talk Jim Crow to me. You feel me? You tell a bitch, yeah, oh, my bad. Nah, let me take that back. Would you tell him, hey, tell me I can't drink up out that water fountain? Hey, that's turning Shannon on. Hey, tell me to go to the back of the bus.
You white little, come here, suck big black. You talking about you? I get that part. I get it, cause I tell white, but it's consensual. They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these since 20 years old.
Hey, and you better be careful. Cam better be careful because you grew up in an era where a lot of that stuff that y'all was doing in them rap circles could definitely be considered SA. Definitely. You know, a lot of how they was doing back in them days, in them early 2000s, them late 90s, a lot of stuff was going on that would not be okay today. Cam better watch it. And I'm sure he done, you know, paid his fair share of women to hush hush. But this is Shay Shay getting too big for his britches. Cam thinking he can say whatever. And I get it. It is what it is. That's the gist of the show. Pretty much, you know, let your nuts hang and say whatever comes to mind. But hey, man, it gets crazy out here. You know, you might want to watch what you say, seeing how this type of stuff unfolds.
I know what you up to. I know when you try to bait me in a text message to say some dumb shit. I ain't writing it back. You right. And I'm not writing nothing back. You can't get me to write a damn thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. You gotta know. See, that's the thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like, I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say. Hold on. You don't usually talk to me like this. Why are you talking to me like this now? Yo, I'm gonna hit you back. Boom. And then you know when shit ain't right, you be like, when you answer the phone, they be like, hello, hello, hello. They setting up. Oh, I can hear you.
25,000 a month. Him not paying attention. Cam just said, like, it's certain things that should have tipped you off that she's recording you. Just certain little things. But he's not paying attention. He's so engulfed in the role play, and he really thinking he has the situation under control. You don't have this situation under control, Unc. You know different than the rest of us. You're a black man with a ton of money. You don't think you're getting lined up the same way some of these younger athletes are getting lined up. Brittany Renner said it best. Athletes are stupid. You athletes are stupid. You want to get pregnant by an athlete? Just tell them, don't put a condom on. They'll do it. They're dumb. Brittany Renner said this. And, I'm not saying that Unc walks around like he's just this genius, but he does walk around on I don't want to say a high horse. He walks around on hey, man, respect my life experiences. I got good game to give you. Great game to give you if you just listen, if you stay disciplined. Look at me. I'm 56. I still work out hard. I grind daily. I got a routine. Follow me. You will be all right. You're doing the same. You're getting caught up on some of the same shit the YNs are getting caught up on. You're an athlete at heart. Brittany Renner said what you was, Shannon, a dumb athlete. And I don't mean to shit on this man because he's going through a tough situation right now. But it's true what they say, man. Hey, listen, you got to look yourself in the mirror. This is ultimately your doing. You could have avoided this. Stephen A. Smith avoids this type of stuff. He realizes he's working with Disney. He realizes it's more at stake. It's so much at stake. And Shannon he got careless, man. He fumbled the ball, no pun intended.
Now, they done set the call up. You got to read all these signs, bro. And you got to think about this, right? This is why, and a lot of people are called this Uncle Tom, and he don't like black people, or this, that, and the third, et cetera, et cetera. This is why Stephen A. don't get into no shit like this. And I'm going to say none of us is above it, knock on wood, but he knows he works for Disney. When you work for Disney, a sex tape can't be coming out like this. You can't be admitting that, 30 seconds of this shit was kind of rough. I'm letting y'all know. Shit get a little wild. But didn't he 30 seconds get what? Yo, this Mickey Mouse in there. What you mean 30 seconds get wild? I think that Disney's getting a little more lenient because of shit like Pat McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, he can get away with certain things, of course. That's Pat McAfee. I think where Shannon lost himself was thinking he was Pat McAfee-esque. Thinking he had Club Shay Shay in his back pocket, which was his podcast that he built from the ground up, and he does. He used that as leverage for ESPN. Great. Got a bag out of ESPN. But what happens when Club Shay Shay is now on the line? And you can't collect that ESPN check. You can depend on that NFL pension, but let's get one thing straight. Shannon was not making this type of money after football than he was during. So that pension, he done got used to a certain standard of life. He done got used to a certain, dollar amount that he's making. And for that to just go away, and now you got to figure it out, it's tough. But I think he'll be okay ultimately. But discounted rate. You put yourself in this position, it gives people the leeway to get you at a discounted rate.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
See, that sounds consensual. Like, I don't know why you want to go out. She's saying, like, you coming to LA tomorrow? I don't know why you would want to go out instead of being with me, instead of come seeing me. You know what I mean? You got to really read between the lines. That doesn't sound, perverted. That doesn't sound like he's angry. This is sounding more like sex play, role play, freaky talk. It's Mr. Nasty time. That's what this is sounding like to me. I could be wrong though.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well,
And he's paying for this, by the way. He's paying for this. So he's paying for this type of nasty time. You know, he's saying, okay, what? Okay, what is in, oh, you know, just he's paying for this youngster. He's paying for this youngster. Shannon said, I'm not getting married again. I'm not having no more kids. I'm not dealing with no women my age. Because when I deal with women my age, they're combative. They're not giving me the things I want. I need a good butt licking every now and then. And a lot of these older women aren't licking it the way I like it to be licked. Pause. This is her saying she's into the cheat game. You know, Shannon was supposedly a victim of that. You know, hey, I'm just telling you what it is. We got to understand what's going on right now. Shannon said, I'm paying for the convenience. I'm paying for you to obey me. That's what I'm paying for. Because a woman my age, she's not going for it. I'm not able to talk to her like this. I'm not able to put her in her place. She done did all the role play. She good with all that role play. She's going to argue. You want me to do what? She's going to judge me. You want me to put what? Where? Nah, I'm not. I ain't doing that. And Shannon has caught a lot of slack, a ton of slack for being with this younger woman, right? A lot of people saying, hey, she not fully developed, man. She ain't had enough life experience to even know what the hell is going on. Why would you, a 56-year-old man, be dealing with this young woman? I do have something to say now. They ain't never came at Hugh Hefner like that, though. The Hef was always idolized and you know, revered. It's a lot of women on Shannon's head right now. How dare you take advantage of this young woman? How dare you? I don't know, man. But you know, I feel like women of that age may feel the same way. A lot of them may feel like, listen, I can't mold this guy into what I want when he's of age. He's 56, he's 57. I can't get him to act the way I want him to act and do some of these things. He's not going rounds and rounds and rounds with me. Can't get him to do this. So I want a youngster that I can mold, that I can get him to do whatever I need him to do. Oh, he want to play some Xbox? Cool. There you go, sweetheart. What you need, you need that new Grand Theft Auto? I got that for you. As long as you coming over, putting it on me, right? But I don't know why Shannon is getting so much backlash from that. When we see that in reverse, it's championed. When we see women going after young men, a lot of the times it's championed.
I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public.
So Shannon said, look, you going with me. I likes you. I want you. Wherever they was trying to go. They was in LA. That's why she said, why are you going out? Right? And Shannon said, hey, if you don't step out with me, you gonna get it. I'm gonna choke you. She said, well, I'm not trying to get choked, so I might as well go out. Just dumb.
Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look.
He should have known right there. Wait, what's going on? What's going on? Usually you agree with me when I say things like that. Usually, oh, I can't wait to be choked. Now, she was saying all type of stuff, all type of crazy stuff in those text messages. Let's call a spade a spade. And you not being able to peep game, Shannon, may have cost you all your earnings. And I don't think Shannon just has 50 million to give. The lotto, nigga, what lotto? I don't believe Shannon has 50 M's to willingly just give away like that if he takes an L. He take a L for 50, he working for that 50. I don't think he's accumulated that money and just has that sitting around like that. I'm not counting pockets, but I don't know if Shannon Sharpe has $50 million worth of assets. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well,
Michelle. Now, I spoke a little bit about him catching a lot of flack, right? Him catching a lot of flack from women. How dare you talk to this young woman? You need a woman your age. This is predatory behavior. This is not cool. You really need to check yourself, Shannon. You in this situation right now because you dealing with this young woman, this 20-year-old woman. But I haven't heard a lot of people calling out
having a partner, but a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity. I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up.
Oh, I was going to say, it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously it's a generalization,
Yeah.
but because I have dated men my age, there is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with I mean, something as basic as that.
Right, yeah.
That there's
No, I
times
hear you.
where I'll be, sitting across the table from somebody and just like, what did you just say? Much as grief does.
So Tracy Ellis Ross is saying, listen, man, I don't want me no old dude. I need me a youngster who's okay with gender fluidity. He's good with being around transgenders. He's open to all type of nefarious acts that I'm into. I'm into these things. And I just want my young buck to be able to follow along and do what it is I want him to do and obey me. It's cool when she does it. It's a problem when Shay Shay does it. Now, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm not here to be on anybody's side. I'm just here to call out the malarkey. Why the uproar for Uncle Shay Shay when it comes to dealing with a young woman who's pretty much doing what he wants her to do? He's doing what he wants her to do. He's paying for it. Top dollar. Top dollar. But when you have Tracy Ellis Ross, a lot of people look up to Tracy Ellis, man. Girlfriends, that was your mama's favorite show back in the day. A lot of us used to sit around that TV screen and watch Tracy Ellis bring in different men every week on Girlfriends. Could never keep a, hey, Art imitates life, man. Art truly imitates life. Go look at that Joan character. Now, I know she kind of redeemed herself in Blackish, but she's one of the original girlfriends. Go back and look at that Joan character. Joan could not keep a man. Boy, she ended that show. I don't even think her and William end up working. Joan ended the show single. Nobody's complaining about how she's getting down. But it's a problem when Uncle Shay Shay do it. Hypocrisy is crazy. Now they around the same age. She wants to deal with nothing but younger men. We have Monique telling Shannon, hey, Shannon, are you out your mind? You out your mind dealing with this youngster? You out your mind dealing with this 22-year-old? You need you somebody that's your age, that's going to love you right and cook you some eggs. I'm paraphrasing. But it's cool when Joan do it. It's cool when Tracy Ellis Ross do it. How come I don't hear nobody judging Tracy Ellis? I hear crickets. Nobody's speaking on her taking advantage of younger men. Nobody's speaking on her having her way with younger men. They don't judge her. They're not asking no questions. They do exactly what she wants them to do, but yet it's an issue. You know, older men, they just not going for it. Just like older women just not going for the type of nefarious acts, a lot of the degeneracy that Shannon is taking part in. He's partaking in. They don't want to do that. They questioning you. They questioning your sexuality. They saying you talking to me like I'm some type of damn slave, Shannon. Nah, you better check yourself, right? But Tracy Ellis, when she does it, is liberating. It feels good. It's empowering. I feel good about myself, right? I don't know.
Surface for me around not having children and not having a partner. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity. I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up.
Oh, I was going to say, it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously, it's a generalization.
Yeah.
But because I have dated men my age, there is an openness that occurs.
There's an openness. Younger men are a little bit open. The same can't go for Shannon and younger women. I'm just calling it down the middle, man. Don't judge me for relaying the message. I'm just calling this shit down the middle, straight down the middle. It seems like it's cool when she does it, but when Unc gets in his bag and he's spending 25 bands on a woman a month, he's a perv. He's a damn pedo. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know. Maybe I'm tripping, but this is some crazy language by Unc. This is some crazy language, but I want to talk about where I feel like he went wrong. I've been telling you, he been popping this shit at ESPN for a minute now, and I feel like this situation right here really should have let you know that this thing was headed towards disaster. Once you start talking like this to them people, I knew. I said, oh yeah, man. They got something for you. Something coming. Something up the pipeline for you, Shannon. You talking like you ahead of the company.
Hot seat. Take a listen.
When you hear pundits on this network and other places talk about that with certainty, it's nonsense, frankly. I mean, the public doesn't pull the trigger and get rid of the coach.
No.
The administrators do, and they're behind them.
Yeah. First Take tried to fire him. They thought he was done. So I'll be excited to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance. They had him out. They're trying to find replacements. But here he is. There he is. He's still got his hat on. He's still coaching.
Yes, he is still coaching, and yes, Ohio State looked fantastic.
Shannon, step aside, Shannon.
Against Tennessee.
Step aside,
I'll let
Shannon.
you respond.
Step aside, Shannon and Dio.
Great.
Let me get. I need an ISO shot.
I will tell you.
Take it over.
All right, go ahead, Shannon.
Even I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna be a good teammate. I'm gonna let it slide. Everybody's at ESPN because had you not taken the route you taken, I would have lit their ass up. But I'm gonna let it slide. You know what, guys? Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game. But hey, if we're gonna be on the same team, if we're gonna work for the same network, don't do that. Kurt, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're gonna say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna let y'all slide today.
You see what I mean? High horse. Big shit popping. You a shit popper. Hey, it was all good just a week ago. It was money in the bank just a week ago. You was talking to these good white folks as if nothing was gonna happen to you. We got to be more strategic, and this is what I mean by when I say, damn, the climate. Did you forget where you was? Did you just think that you could pretty much partake in these activities with this 20-year-old white woman and nothing was going to fall back on you? This is you dealing with a Gen Zer, a young Gen Z. She not trying to work. Feminism running through her veins. You got to be wiser. And I'm not saying you can't deal with women. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, out of all the advice you give, you at the very least have to follow your own advice. And I said, damn, yeah, I know Shannon got Club Shay Shay going in. I know Nightcap is popping, but they not going to take that for too much longer. They not going to lie. The people who Shannon was talking to, they've been in the game for some time. You know what I mean? They've been around. And ain't no telling who they're connected to. Ain't no telling who they're connected to. So when you get to talking like this and you work for a network to where people, have connections that you may not even know who these people know, the execs, you don't know who they're related to, people in high places. Yeah, you're bringing this corporation a ton of money, but it's going to be a time to where you're not that big of a draw. And then you're going to be thrown away. They throw away their tools, Shannon. I got news for you. You were nothing but a tool. You were nothing but a tool, and you finding out the hard way. See, when he was talking like this, that's when I knew. I said, oh, yeah, he talking with his big boy pants on now. Because he thought Club Shay Shay was end all be all. And he said, I don't eat this. Y'all remember Everybody Hates Chris? She used to be like, Chris Mama Tashina Arnold. Shout out to Tashina Arnold. Pam from Martin. She said, I don't eat this. My man has 2 jobs. I'm just here to serve the people.
You serve me on a regular.
Shannon said, hey, listen, man. Y'all ain't got enough bosses to keep me in my place. My, oh my, how that whole spiel, that whole shtick, that tone is no longer the same. And this was months ago. This was a few months ago when he was talking like this.
I'm gonna turn it over to Do before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me. Go ahead, Do.
Damn.
I gotta follow.
Go ahead.
Man. Shoot. Listen, I think that 2 things can be true.
On the hot seat, take a listen.
When you hear pundits on this network and other places talk about that with certainty. Yeah, it's nonsense, frankly. I mean, the public doesn't pull the trigger and get rid of the coach.
No.
The administrators do, and they're behind them.
Yeah. First Take tried to fire him. They thought he was done. So I'll be excited to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance. They had him out. They're trying to find replacements. But here he is. He's still got his hat on. He's still coaching.
Yes, he is still coaching. And yes, Ohio State looked fantastic.
Shannon, step aside, Shannon.
Now, she said that Shannon, she wasn't even attracted to Sharpe. You got to be careful. It was all transactional. All transactional. She can act for as long as she needed to. She's getting paid $25,000 a month. She was one of the best actresses in Hollywood, literally. She wasn't attracted to you. That's why she didn't care about you. She never gave a damn about you. That's why it's so easy for her to throw your name under the mud. She never was into you. She knew what it was, and she knew that she had the power over you. She knew that public opinion would easily sway her way. The optics of the situation, like Shannon said, big black guy choking out a little white girl. The history speaks for itself. I mean, this is what it is. We've seen case after case after case of people, sometimes women, we've seen this dynamic play out before. I'll just say that. We've seen black men get lied on. We've seen people switch up the story. I remember it was a case in Long Beach Poly. It was a big time football player, man, Long Beach Poly. And he ended up going to prison for grape. He spent some years in prison for grape. And he eventually got out. And when he got out, and he was a big time football player, had an offer from USC. He was going to SC. And I believe this story is actually like on, they have a documentary or an actual movie. Like they did an actual movie. It's on Netflix, I believe, or YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Just look up the story that I'm talking about. But going back, he spent those years in prison. Spent years in prison behind this, man. Years of his life taken away. He got out. She befriended him on Facebook. After all of those years. And they got to catching up, and he's like, why are you reaching out? It was too much on her. The guilt was too much on her. She admitted, like, I was wrong for what I did. I apologize. I know that you never did nothing and this and that. And he had it all on to, she had the city gave out a big settlement. City gave her, I believe, like $2 million. She had to pay all of that money back. She had to pay that money back. I don't think she actually had to go to prison. Just like this girl, nothing's going to happen for her defaming Shannon's character. Shannon's going to have to come out of M's. Do I think he's a stone cold rapist? Do I think he did these things that she's saying? I don't think this guy is a rapist. What I'm thinking is going down is she has everything clear as day in black and white. You agreed to hop on camera and tape this stuff. And she has access to the film. How you not have access to your own film to be able to study it? Knowing she's on OnlyFans, she could have extorted you and put you on OnlyFans. She could have said, hey, I'm going to extort you, put you on OnlyFans. You think these NDAs are holding up? It's 2025. These NDAs aren't holding up, bro. So she has the film. You don't even have access to this 10-minute film. They show you the film. And your silly ass sees that, damn, if this gets out, I'm going to look horrible. That's why you offered that money. You was forced to offer that money. That doesn't mean he's a rapist. But when she has all the evidence lined up and your silly ass has nothing, yeah, it's gonna look away, man. It's gonna look horrible, and it's gonna look like you need to go ahead and ante up. And she's saying, you know what? I don't even want that 10. I want everything you got. I want to ruin you. This is what happens, man, when you're not astute, when you're careless, when you're not focused, when you got generational bags right in front of you and you allow that to just go down the drain. It's a shitty situation. I know he's got to be feeling horrible about himself. Why did I do this? Why did I ever associate with this person? I never should have given my energy to a person like this. She's on OnlyFans, for Christ's sake. I should have known what I was getting myself into. Hey, man. You're hopping in there, you a dog and you hopping in there with the fleas. You're going to get bit a few times and it's going to itch. It's going to itch.
Against Tennessee.
Step aside,
I'll let
Shannon.
you respond.
Step aside, Shannon and Dio.
Great.
Let me get. I need an ISO shot.
I will tell you.
Take it over.
All right, go ahead, Shannon.
Is that who he was choking? No, that was at Fox. I'm surprised Shannon wasn't. You know what? Let me stop because I might say something to spark this woman to get to thinking, you know what, it's time for me to drop my lawsuit. Let me put my name in the bucket. Shannon wasn't on it? Okay, all right.
Even though I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to let it slide. Everybody's at ESPN because had you not taken the route you taken, I would have lit their ass up. But I'm going to let it slide. You know what, guys? Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game.
Skip, I got this new 20-year-old Skip, and oh man, she just willing to do all type of things.
But hey, if we're gonna be on the same team, if we're gonna work for the same network, don't do that. Kurt, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're gonna say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me.
They ain't gotta say nothing now. Them dudes is laughing right now, having a ball, having a jolly old time. Because during that time, they didn't have the leverage to bust back. But then again, who does this girl know? Who sent this woman? A lot of people are now saying this woman had a PI. A lot of people are saying she was involved with the pimping, right? Who's the guy running her OnlyFans? Who's the guy saying, you know what, let's go ahead and push forward for this 50 because I need my cut? Who's advising this girl to make these moves? It's somebody in the cut. Whether it be the higher ups, it's $100 million involved. I keep telling y'all, these people don't put it past them that they sent this woman to Shannon years ago, seeing how his trajectory was skyrocketing through the roof. This $100 million offer was bound to happen, right? Everybody's getting these type of numbers on them. I mean, these type of numbers thrown at them when their pods are doing successful. We seen what happened to Joe Rogan, Gillian Wallow, Sharpe. You gonna get offered that 100 mil. You gonna get offered a nice little chunk. But it seems like something always happens when these people get this money. For Gilly, his son passed away right after. Club Shay Shay, he didn't even get to sign the dotted before this comes out. A $50 million lawsuit defaming his name.
Me off y'all for what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna let y'all slide today. I'm gonna turn it over to Do before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me. Go ahead, Do.
Damn. I gotta follow.
But he been acting like You know, he been wanting to be a YN so bad now for some time. I reminisced on this. I thought about this clip
at the crypto.com
and I
arena.
said,
Dylan
damn,
Brooks
you
was
know,
having words with Shannon Sharpe, and Hall of Famer and broadcast.
You the OG, You the OG, I'm not saying you can't defend yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't pop your shit, but damn, you supposed to be giving Dylan some advice. You supposed to be giving Josh some sound advice. You out there trying to squabble up and still show that, you know, you top dog, you head honcho. You're supposed to retire from this, But this should have let us know. Oh, with all the bullshit. He really still think he in his 20s. And ain't nothing worse than an old nigga who think he in his 20s and think he can still deal with these young girls the way he would have dealt with them back in his day. This ain't your day. This ain't back in your day, homie. Things is working a little different out here. This ain't you can't, go down to the diner, get a couple ice creams, and that's a beautiful date. She's loving that date. No. This ain't them times, dude. You're not 20 no more.
Okay. And you see Steven Adams comes over to protect his guy along with the supporting cast, and then Shannon Sharpe still talking, and T. Morant, John Morant's dad, comes over. Had an opportunity to talk to T. Morant, and he said, my blood pressure didn't go up a bit. Nothing but love and respect for Shannon Sharpe. It's a bunch of guys talking a bunch of trash. Side at the crypto.com arena. Dylan Brooks was having words with Shannon Sharpe.
Unc said, I'm going to come at the whole squad. Ja, Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, all y'all can get it, Skip. Skip, I'm from, the outskirts of Georgia. I'm from the outskirts of Mississippi, Skip. My grandma taught me that never back down. Never back down from a fade, Skip. I don't give a damn if it's 12 on 1, Skip. I'm going to go out swinging.
Hall of Famer and broadcast.
Skip, I can still get down with the best of them. Give me that 20, that 22, that 20-year-old Skip. Hey, I'm telling you, Skip.
And you see Steven Adams comes over to protect his guy along with the supporting cast, and then Shannon Sharpe still talking, and T. Morant, John Morant's dad, comes over. Had an opportunity to talk to T. Morant, and he said, my blood.
I wanted to get into this little clip. We got Uncle Tariq Nasheed, he with all the BS as well. Let's hear what he had to say about this topic.
That you target. Yes, that's their whole MO. That's like a little cottage industry of these little ambulance chasing lawyers that target Black entertainers who got significant wealth. Because they know that, there's racial bias against them. They don't do that to white entertainers like that. They always do it to Black entertainers. So with Shannon Sharpe, they're trying to say there was a $50 million lawsuit. They tried to Jane Doe it. If some Jane Doe said she was sexually assaulted multiple times, then Shannon clapped back by posting text messages from the woman. This is basically allegedly some white Latina chick. Allegedly. And he posted up some of the text messages. And boy, some of the text messages was talking about, man, she was talking about licking.
Well, hold on. I got to pause this real quick because we're going to come back to this. But they're somehow saying that Shaq may be involved in this. Matt Barnes, on the record, is talking to a YouTuber, Tasha K, who exposes the hell out of people. And Shaq Diesel's name comes up. They obviously had some type of beef. They was beefing for a little bit. If you remember, Shannon Sharpe would touch on it in certain interviews. People would try to clean it up. Shaq had words was exchanged. And Tasha K, she gonna air it out. So she aired out Matt Barnes pretty much saying, hey, listen, Shaq is going around paying money for anybody who has dirt on Shannon Sharpe. And Shaq if y'all don't think Shaq has connections, could Shaq Diesel have put this whole play together? If he didn't put the whole play together, I know for sure he's smiling. And we know Shaq, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Shaq dealing with them youngsters too. Shaq dealing, after Shaq paid off Shawnee that last little bit of child support, Shawnee was pissed. Shawnee hit him with I never loved you. I never loved you, Shaq. I loved what you can do for me. And now he's doing for other young women. So we see Shaq participating in the same type of acts that Shannon is. But is he that diabolical to where he would have put something like this together? Shaq is, hey man, Shaq tried to throw Penny under the bus when it came to Tyra Banks. Shaq was pissed off at that. Ain't no telling what he willing to do. And we got love for Shaq. We don't know how far he'll take it. Let me bring up that Matt Barnes clip, man. Let me bring up that Matt Barnes clip before I get into what Nasheed had to say. Because I heard that and I'm like, wait. Of course, Matt Barnes was frustrated. And, he said he was going to sue Tasha K because that was really his voice. Everybody can tell Matt Barnes' voice by now. He got the Up in Smoke or All of the Smoke podcast. So Matt Barnes when you hear Matt Barnes. He threatened to sue Tasha K for putting that information out there. But it gets real. It's layers to this Shannon Sharpe shit.
I don't know if you're on this kind of time, but I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around, so just want to put that out there.
He said, I don't know if you're on that type of time, but Shaq is known to throw large lump sums of money out there. Just letting you know. And he said, old boy. He said, man, Shaq wants some information on old boy. He didn't say no names, but he's about to say a name.
Stay quiet. Hey, he said, please keep it quiet. He said that.
Shaq said, please keep it quiet. I don't know if y'all can hear this.
Shannon did some shit back from a while back. Hey, he said, please keep it quiet. He said that Shannon did some shit back from a while back, and he's been off him. So that's why he's doing this. But please keep his name quiet.
To that. Mm-hmm. Have you guys talked? We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way. I said what I said. I still think Shaq is a phenomenal basketball player, even though, he minimized my career. I'm fine. The thing is, first don't fuck your bitch in the clique.
There it is. Matt Barnes. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why my mic got muted. Hold on. Let me. Technical difficulties. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why my mic got muted, but we back. Shaq throwing large lump sums of money around, wanting information on Shannon, so he could potentially put it out there. Hey, it's chess, not checkers. Shaq knows some people too, man. Was it big enough for him to put this on the man? No, I don't know. Let's get back to that Tariq Nasheed though. Let's see what he was talking about. That shit is crazy.
His ass and allegedly and posted up some of the text messages. And boy, some of the text messages was talking about, man, she was talking about licking his ass and allegedly and talking about getting some baby batter or something like that. It was real explicit. Hold on. Let me try to look it up, some of the stuff real quick. He says she was a freaky deek. Hold on, let me pull up some of that stuff. 1 second. Let me pull up some of that. Hold on, Shannon Sharpe. I'm looking up his page. Hold on. I'm gonna read what he posted about what she was saying. All right. Comes to the Shannon Sharpe. She was like trying to get some money. Like, what did she say about her ass? Her name is Zuniga, and that's a Latina. That's a Latina name. She asked for 25,000 per cheek. What did she say? I know you missed this big juicy ass. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke it while you're effing me. Okay. Only if you put that baby gravy in me. She was like, text from Zuniga to Shannon, November 23rd. I want to put my tongue in your asshole, then you marry me.
Ooh.
Well, she was tossing salads. Then she said, that's my daddy. Look, I want you to put a big black baby in me. Good grief. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Good grief. This sounds like Birth of a Nation. Good grief. But family, let's unpack that. See, that's fetishizing. That's fetishizing. Fetishizing. That's not the same as respect. See, we got to watch, brothers. You better understand when there's mutual like or somebody's fetishizing. See, these women, they'll pursue black men out of a sexual curiosity, not out of respect, not out of a genuine connection.
And he's right, man. You know, that's a fact, man. It's all type of stereotypes, negative stereotypes around black men, but we all know some of the stereotypes that come with black men as well. And a lot of other groups want to experience that, and let's call it what it is. We're fetishized, big time fetishization. And I think it was some of that in this specific case, but at the same time, it's big money involved, and she knew that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't nothing. It wasn't hard for her to play this role in the least bit, especially with all of this money being attached to it. The money, the fame, and it never was looking good for Shannon at any point. Once he started dealing with this woman, it was no turning back. And you know, that 10 million was gonna get offered. It was inevitable because this cat didn't know, you know, what type of person he was truly dealing with.
But when their interest revolves around stereotypes rather than the actual person, that's the groundwork for objectification and then eventually betrayal. That's why, sisters, when y'all try to bedwinch it up and y'all get with these zaddies and they got these weird little Negro fetishes. Hey, I love your nappy hair. Don't shave your cage. I want it to rub on my chin. They, you know, that's something else. And they're all into, they got a weird fetish about the texture of your hair and all of that. Something else that will turn to betrayal. That's why them zaddies always killing these sisters, because objectification is always rooted in some form of hate. And understand, Black male bodies, they're already hypersexualized by society. So a lot of Black men are already reduced to physicality. So a lot of these non-Black women, they'll seek relationships just out of fantasies, and then flip the narrative when they feel scorned or embarrassed. And that sexual curiosity, that can turn into guilt or some kind of shame. See, after acting on a fetish, some of these non-Black women, they experience some kind of internalized guilt, a social pressure from their families and their communities.
You got to be careful with that. You got to be very careful with that. Now, I know this woman was doing OnlyFans. I know she was doing OnlyFans, but you can always play that card. You know your social status as a woman. You know what comes with being a white woman, and you most likely 9 times out of 10 get more perks and benefits and social recognition and able to do certain things and get away with certain things. You know what comes with that. And if your community, if your group of men is maybe looking at you like, well, damn, I can accept you doing OnlyFans, but you with Shannon Sharpe, I can't accept that. Well, hey, if my people are putting me to shame, let's go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I was taken advantage of. Yeah, I did OnlyFans. Yeah, I sold my work. But that was then. That don't mean I deserve to get taken advantage of by this big Black guy.
And that guilt leads them to rewrite the narrative. And then they start saying, well, I was really kind of drunk when he was tearing his coochie up. So ain't that kind of rapish? That's what the white women were doing with Bill Cosby. See, the white women were having the time of their lives once they got older and the money started drying up. You know what? I was assaulted multiple times. Yeah, it don't work like that. Because see, they view Black men as disposable.
Very true. They throw away their tools. That's what I was saying. Like, man, Shannon, you weren't going to be making that type of money forever. You weren't going to be able to bring that type of money in forever. Club Shay Shay, all good things come to an end. There's only so many interviews you can do with people to where they still want to be tapped in with that type of content. Eventually, you would have had to switch it up. You do a great job. You're great at what you do. But eventually, I feel like, it would have ran its course. You wouldn't have been worth all of that money. That's why you got to strike when the iron is hot in this business. But it's just a rough situation, because now you're in a situation where you may not even be able to see what Club Shay Shay's overall peak was. You know what I mean? You didn't tap out of Club Shay Shay. Like, you didn't get the best out of Club Shay Shay, or I should say you didn't get all you can get out of Club Shay Shay. You ran that well dry hella early.
See, there's a long history of Black men being used and discarded by their non-Black partners. They're seen as exotic lovers, but that's pretty much it. And again, people will turn on you based on their own stereotypes. And you better understand, and Neely Fuller talks about this. I mean, when you are a Black person and you lay up with a non-Black person, the racial power dynamics favor them. In society, these white women or Asian, because remember, young Jeezy, his Asian woman, she was kind of having that same kind of fetish talk about him. That's probably why their marriage crumbled. But understand, these non-Black...
Hell yeah, you see what happened with Jeezy. And she was saying all type of stuff. Jeezy was walking around carrying AKs, carrying baby Dracos around the house, silencers, switches, while holding the baby. What? You know, it was a lot of stuff. And Jeannie Mai even admitted, like, you know, I messed this relationship up. It didn't matter. When it was time for that divorce, Jeezy might as well have been Satan.
They hold more proximity to whiteness and systemic power. So if things go south, they know that the authorities, the media, the public, they're going to go along with their version of the events when it's pitted against the black male. They know this. Now, people can play dumb all day. They know what it is. Yeah. And listen, these false accusations, they have historical roots. They've always done this. What they're doing to Shannon, they've always done this. That's part of the white supremacist culture. False claims from white women talking about after they done had all types of soul pole in their mouth consensually, they want to cash out and say, oh, well, he's papered up, so it happened against my will. So yeah, they want to monetize the encounter.
Yo, I just thought about this too. Same thing happened to Kobe. This is before internet. This is before everything, but same thing happened to Kobe. And Kobe, when he died, he still was getting. They never let that go. They never let that go. They settled in court. It came back that didn't happen. It came back that Kobe was innocent. He was facing jail time too. If you remember, you know, that was civil, but it had some criminal implications on that thing too. And Kobe beat it. This is before social media. She had all the semen in her for multiple players. But somehow, you know, Kobe was the one who did that to her. And ultimately they settled. Ultimately they settled out of court. But same thing happened. Same thing happened.
When you realize you can't emotionally manipulate the black man, they start doing blackmail lawsuits and media exposure to try to profit off the situation. Yeah.
And Kobe was top dog at that point. I don't know if they found Shaq. Well, yeah. Well, no. Kobe had said Shaq be doing it too. So Kobe threw Shaq under the bus and said Shaq be cheating too. It's not just me. I'll never forget that. Kobe didn't have to do that. God rest that man's soul. But damn, Kobe, you didn't have to throw Shaq under the bus like that because your ass got caught up. But I don't think Shaq partook in that particular woman that day. But multiple other teammates did. She had multiple teammates semen in her. She was jumping from room to room to room to room. But Kobe was somehow that guy that, you know, and Kobe came out on top of that situation. He actually got stronger. Yes, there was a ton of hate early on. He was playing through adversity. That boy Kobe was putting up numbers. Go back during them Kobe trial days. That should be a whole little period for Kobe. The Kobe trial days. Go back and touch on that film. Running amok. I'm talking about averaging like 40. Every stadium he stepped in was hostile. Crazy environments, getting booed. Some of the people would throw stuff at him. He didn't have no Nike deal. Everybody stripped away their deals from McDonald's to Sprite to Adidas. Everybody stripped away everything. That was that period of time where Kobe was wearing Jordans. Kobe was wearing different Nikes. Kobe was wearing Iversons Go back, go look that up. Go look up Kobe wearing Iversons. Kobe was wearing Reeboks. Nobody wanted to sign him. Nobody wanted to sign him because of this stuff. Came back that he didn't do it. He had to go up there. Vanessa, you remember that famous picture? Vanessa got that look on her face like, I want to stab you in your sleep. Kobe had to buy her a big ring. Just a huge ring to make up for it. But she stuck by his side, though. She stuck by his side. But this, I just say all that to say this will ruin you. Everybody ain't got that Kobe get through adversity. Hopefully Shannon do, but hey, man, I'm going to tell you like Kobe told me, the job not done.
So it's deep. It is deep. And society encourages, and the media, they encourage the double standard. The mainstream media, the legal system, they give non-black women the benefit of the doubt, knowing that they're full of it. Just like with Cosby, all them women, they knew them women were full of shit. But again, the name of the game was to take the black man down. It wasn't in good faith. They're not operating in good faith. The name of the game is to vilify the wealthy black man so that you can get some of those resources, so that you can leech off of them like a parasite. Huh? Heavy game out here. We got a lot of folks in here. Shout out to everybody in here. Y'all raised them. Bushmeat Bears.
Man, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I'm just trying to stay consistent, trying to get back in the algorithm. If you hear, man, like the video, share the content, subscribe. It's nothing but love. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I don't give a damn if it's 6, if it's 60, if it's 600, if it's 600,000, if it's 6 milli up in the chat. I'm going to try to provide y'all with a good service.
You serve me on a regular.
It's the failed athlete, but that don't mean you got to fail in life.